Coming up in this episode, we have the rest of the Super League and the NRL fixtures results for your perusal. And we're looking to Daryl Powell's comments as he looks to stop the latest wire slump. Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the channel How Dominance. Anthony here. Please remember to like and subscribe, and also click that notification bell if you enjoy what you're seeing and if you want to continue seeing more. Well, we have quite a lot of rugby league results as we're going to catch up with all the games that went on this weekend. Well, we've already done Thursday, but Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we can go through every single one for you. And we're going to start in the NRL, as there were 6 games that we have yet to cover. Let's go and do that now. First, we arrive in the Go Media Stadium as Auckland saw the Rabbitohs down the Warriors 28 points to 6. While Marcelo Montoya got on the try scoring list first of all and Sean Johnson converted, it was Alex Johnston and Cam Murray who got first half tries for the Rabbitohs, with Blake Taft adding a goal and a penalty from these 3 conversion attempts. Murray's try was helped out by adding Fanua Blake being sin-binned on the 33rd minute. Alex Johnson got his second just after half time before Tyrone Munro and Blake Taft himself scoring a try apiece. Then Taft added 2 extras from his 3 attempts in the second half to end with a 3 from 5 record. 28 points to 6. The Warriors, as some people have already commented, not quite yet a top 4 side, but they're getting there. Next we come to the second Friday game as the Melbourne Storm were beaten by Penrith Panthers at 34 points to 16. The Marvel Stadium in Melbourne saw Harry Grant and Nelson Asafa-Solomona going over on the 14th and the 24th minute, with Nick Meaney adding the extras beforehand. After each try was scored. Meaney added a penalty on the 3rd minute and just after half time. But it was the Panthers who came roaring back with Stephen Crichton on the 31st minute. Isaac Tago got his first try of the night on the 34th, but Liam Martin going over just before half time for a 16 points to 14 lead to the Panthers. But apart from that Meaney penalty on the 42nd minute, it was the Panthers that got all the tries, with Tago's second, Zach Hoskins on the 62nd minute, and Brian Toto scoring on the 72nd. Stephen Crichton was on kicking duty and he converted 5 from his 6 attempts, only missing the second try of the game. As the calendar turned to a new month, Saturday opened up with the Canberra Raiders beating the Gold Coast Titans 26 points to 22. And that is how close it was, with Albert Hapuate scoring on the 1st minute and Sebastian Chris on the 16th minute, with Jared Croker adding the extras apiece. Before David Fafita, was having a great game in attack and also in support, put on a try for himself. Jojo Fafita scored after the break at half time, before Matthew Timoko scored on the 49th minute to extend that Raiders lead. Alafina and Cam Pereira scored on the 62nd minute. Then it was Hudson Young for the Raiders who snuck another one through the gap to score. Jared Croker finished off with 4 from 4. Tino Fasan-Malawi scored on the 78th minute to give a nervous last couple of minutes after Jared Croker had kicked over a penalty. Tane Boyd kicked 3 from 4, otherwise it would have been much closer. Gold Coast Titans are progressing today. Saturday's second game saw a rout as the Cowboys ran in 74 points to 0 over the West Tigers, who are looking a bit more disjointed than usual. Tom Dearden scored on the 14th minute before Semi Valame scored on the 16th. The tries kept coming through Luciano Leilua and a double from Scott Drinkwater. Maritalagi and Valentine Holmes, who scored his 50th try just before half-time, made a half-time scoreline of 42-0. After the elation of scoring his first try a couple of weeks ago, Alex Twell was sent to the sin bin on the 31st minute, and that helped the Cowboys a lot. The second try for Valami on the 43rd minute, just after half-time, was added to by another Val Holmes try on the 49th, Maritalagi second and third on the 52nd and the 65th minute, respectively, before Jeremiah Nane got one on the 68th minute. There was a little bit of a lull between tries after this, but Jordan McLean scored a final try of the game, as Val Holmes finished on 11 conversions from 13 attempts. Back to the drawing board, methinks, for the West Tigers. That happens too many times. Next, we come to the Suncorp Stadium as the final game of the Saturday matches was Broncos versus the Dolphins, and the Broncos came away with the 24-16 victory. The Suncorp Stadium derby saw Selwyn Cobbo go over on the 7th minute, followed up by Herbie Farnworth. Cody Nikorima scored on the 25th minute for the Dolphins, before Herbie Farnworth got his second 13 minutes before half-time. That gave a 14-6 half-time scoreline, as Adam Reynolds could only kick 1 from 3. After half-time, it was Val Tevare who went over on the 50th minute, and was a monster throughout the game. There's one highlight out there where he's running over. Broncos would be tacklers on halfway. Big lad, big and tough. Selwyn Cobbo responded to a Jeremy Marshall King try on the 63rd minute with one of his own on the 68th minute. He then completed a hat-trick on the 77th minute as the winger, who plays with a massive smile on his face, got his final try on the 77th minute. Reynolds could only convert one more, but Jermaine Izako converted 2 from 3 on the day. Suncorp is Brisbane Broncos land, and they proved it once again. Sunday opened up with a big score for the Newcastle Knights as they beat Canterbury Bulldogs 66-0 at Accor Stadium. Jackson Hastings opened the scoring on the 12th minute with a try, and Bradman Best followed that up 4 minutes later. Lachlan Fitzgibbon and Phoenix Crossland scored the next 2 tries on the 24th and the 34th minute, before 2 minutes later, Bradman Best scored the final try of the half. Galen Ponga was perfect with the boots at this point, and it was 30-0 at half-time. The sheds opened up for both sides to come out, and it was Kurt Manford of the Knights who opened the scoring in the second half. Greg Mayhew and Jackson Hastings scored a try apiece 2 minutes apart, before Best got his second as well on the 56th minute. Enare Tuala scored on the 64th minute for the Knights, before Phoenix Crossland crossed on the 70th minute. Ponga was again perfect with the boot, and 66 was up. Ponga had 11 conversions from 11 attempts. Off day for the Bulldogs. They're still in rebuild mode. The final game of the weekend for the NRL's rounds 18 saw the Manly Sea Eagles win by 18-16 in this close game. One conversion separated each other only in the first half, and that was all it was for the Roosters. It was the Roosters that opened the scoring as Junior Powell scored on the 22nd minute, before Dale Cherry Evans got his first of 2 in the first half and the game. James Tedesco scored on the 31st minute, before Cherry Evans got his second on the 37th. Joey Manu gave the Roosters the lead on the 45th minute just after the Sheds, and then it became a territorial battle. Close calls. But it was only 16 points to 14. 16 points to 12. Ben Trebojevic got on the end of a Josh Houston's inside ball to score on the 70th minute, put the game back in the Seagulls column. With 9 minutes left to go, Ruben Garrick added that conversion. That was the final points of the game. The Seagulls beat the Roosters 18 points to 16. And with that, here is how the ladder looks. The top 8 sees the Panthers and the Broncos still top the way, but with the superior points difference and the Broncos playing the game more, the Panthers sit top of the tree. 3 more teams follow, with the Sharks, Storm and Raiders all on 24 points. The Storm slipped down as they were suffering a defeat against the Panthers. The Rabbitohs and the Warriors switch places with 22 points apiece as the Rabbitohs overcome the Warriors in Auckland. And the Eels finish off the top 8 with 20 points. A look at the bottom 8. The Cowboys and the Titans have joined the Eels on 20 points. They're in 9th and 10th, with the Cowboys going up to 9th. The Sea Eagles are a point behind after their win, but the Dolphins slipped down after their defeat. As does the Roosters, all the way to 13th. The Knights Bulldogs stay in the same position, but thanks to that massive win for the Cowboys, that helped the Dragons move up a place. West Tigers are now back to the bottom of the table and licking their wounds after a 74 points to 0 defeat. Now we come to Warrington Wolves, as Darryl Powell made no secret of his desire to land new recruits immediately to help his Warrington Wolves side finish the 2023 season strongly. The Wire fell to their third straight defeat in all competitions on Thursday night with a 22 points to 6 scoreline against Rowan Smith's Rising Leeds Rhinos side at the Hallowell Jones Stadium. The result handed Warrington their 5th defeat of this in their last 6 games, including the quarter-final cup defeat to the 12-man Wigan earlier this month at the DW Stadium. Powell has made no secret of his wishes to bolster his forward pack after losing Thomas McGailey earlier on in the season, and most recently Josh Maguire after the overseas recruit was released from his 2-year contract. The side are currently without the suspended James Harrison, while Sam Cassiano faces a nervous wait following his sin bin for a shoulder charge on opposition winger Ash Hanley. George Williams is currently sidelined through injury alongside back rower Matty Nicholson, whilst Josh Drinkwater made his return on Thursday. For us, it's all about stabilising, getting our team back together and hopefully getting some recruits in to help us improve, Powell said. We're hopefully close-ish, but it's not 100%. We work pretty hard to get people in, but we don't want to bring in anybody who isn't going to help us move forward. We're trying to get the right people in who will help us down the track, but there's a lot of players injured at the moment. Teams don't want to let their players go. In somewhat a strange remark, Powell then shifted his attention to making the top 6 for an all-important playoffs come the end of the season. Comes as a surprise following Warrington's stellar start to the season, going 8 games unbeaten to sit at the top of the table, although recent form has seen them drop to 4th following wins for Leigh and Wigan on Friday night. The Wolves will look to challenge for the League Leaders Shield and still remain only 2 points from Catalans at this point, who faced Hull on Saturday. Should I say. But Powell seems to be focused on just making the playoffs following these post-match comments. He said, "It's all about being in the top 6. We're nowhere near as consistent as we want to be at the moment, but what it's all about. It's about being in the top 6 at the end of the season, and while it's disappointing and we're not consistent, look at the team and you make your own decision. On his side's performance, the 57-year-old coach continued. We lost rucks consistently, which means we're going to give massive meters up and getting dominated in terms of territory. Early on in the season, we were winning everything in that regard, but we're nowhere near that at the moment. There's different reasons for that, but in terms of solutions, we've got to find one on the training field that translates to the playing fit pitch. It's hard at the moment because I can't take any middles out if they need resting or even dropping. I can't do that. You then talk about bashing each other in training 5 or 6 day turnarounds, which is what we need to do to change what we're doing. But it's hard in the middle of the season. It's not translating because our training time is not massive, but I'm not making excuses. Getting people like Jimmy Harrison, Matty Nicholson and George Williams back out there will start to make us look a little different. But that's a few weeks away. It's not going to help us next week. Our mentality and our work ethic has to improve. And with that, let's get on to the Super League results. We've already got a little bit of hints of how scores went, but let's have a look at the full list. Barring Thursday's games, as we've already covered that. So in the days before Twitter got bent, we saw Friday open up with another game, but this was the live TV game between Lee Leopards and Hull KR, and it was the Leopards that came away with a very good win on the 34 points to 4. Drizzly, bad pitch night. Mikey Lewis was sent to the sin bin early on as he ran into Tom Briscoe to try and delay the restart of the match. It was 0-0 at the time and he found himself in the bin. This gave the Leopards impetus as tries from Briscoe, Mulhern, Charnley, Chamberlain and Edwin Apape showed the positivity that was running through the Lee Leopards. 22 points to 0 at half time, with Ben Reynolds kicking 5 from his 5 attempts. Mikey Lewis got a consolation try at the end, but it was Lee's day as they won 34 points to 4. Next we move on to St Helens as they dominated at the Totally Wicked Stadium 22 points to 0. It was a tough game for both sides, to be fair, as it was 10-0 by half time, and from my tweet during that evening, 10-0 around about the 60th minute, and Saints put on the gas for the final 12 points. Mark Percival, the new father of the bunch, congratulations to him and his partner, has opened the scoring in the first half with John Bennison, Jack Wellesby and Siona Mitautia adding tries apiece as well. Mark Percival also added 3 goals from his 4 attempts, and Saints came away with the 2 points. Next, Wigan Warriors, who were leading 10-0 at half time, defeated Huddersfield Giants 22 points to 6. Abbas Mitski, who has signed a 1-year extension at the Wigan Warriors, got 2 tries on the night, with Liam Marshall and Jai Fields getting a try apiece. Harry Smith added 3 goals from 3. Former Wigan man Jake Bibby added a try for the Giants, who were much improved in this game. Jake Connor goaled the try, but that was it for the Giants, and the Warriors came away with the 2 points themselves. And the shock of the night saw Wakefield I'll say dominate Salford Red Devils, as this was the early kickoff, 32 points to 6 victory in what was a lack of discipline day for Salford Red Devils. Lee Kershaw, Reece Lynn, Will Dagger and Liam Kay got a try apiece, while Will Dagger kicked 8 goals and penalties throughout the entire game. 22 points to 0 at half time. Paul Rupley needed to do something, but Salford still lost the second half, 12 points to 6. Alex Gerrard's try and Mark Sneed's goal was the only bit of good news for a Salford game. We then move on to Saturday, where Hull FC entertained Catalan's Dragons, and the 3 o'clock kickoff saw the Dragons come away 28 points to 18 victors. There was only 1 try in the second half for the entire game, as it was 18 points to 22 by half time in this close affair. Adam Swift, Darnell McIntosh and Chris Sarte, who is going to Catalans at the end of the season, got a try apiece, while Jake Clifford hit 3 from 3. But for the Catalans, 2 tries for Tom Davis, 1 for Tom Johnson, while Julian Busquets and Artur Romano scored a try apiece. Artur Morgs kicked 4 from his 5 attempts for the Catalans win. And with that, here is Super League's round 17 league table as it stands. Catalan's Dragons are still top of the table and now have gone 4 points clear of Lee Leopards, who are the new team to move into second place and are looking good for a playoff picture position. Wigan Warriors moved down to third, but it's only on points scored or points against that the 2 sides in the borough of Wigan are against each other. Warrington slipped down to 4th as their run of defeats sees them still within 4 points of Catalan's Dragons, despite losing, as we've heard, 4 of the last 5 league games. St Helens come next with 20 points, but they have a game in hand on Salford and all those above them. They could join on 22, and Salford are on the same points as Saints. Hull KR are on 18 points after their defeat at Leigh Sports Village and slipped down the table, with Leeds Rhinos win sees them going up to 16th, trading places with Hull FC as they do week in week out. Hull FC are in a 4 from bottom after their defeat, but they have been positive in recent weeks and that can keep on going. They lost to top of the table, remember? Huddersfield are having the season to forget. Despite the signs of life in the Wigan game, they are still 3rd from bottom, with Castleford Tigers 2 points behind them. Wakefield, though, are closing. Could they make the miracle happen once again? Last season, they had a team below them for most of the season. They are the bottom team now. It would be improbable for them to get out of it. Not impossible. They have now got 2 wins. And with that, that's another episode in the bag, and this time it's a Sunday episode where I've actually done it. So thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, subscribe and share this video worldwide, as well as clicking on that notification bell for any updates on new videos that may be coming your way in the near future. Tell me what your thoughts are on today's episode in the comment section below, as it's open for business and you and me can have a civil discourse about it all. It's a fun day for rugby league and a fun day in the world for when you get your Twitter limited, no matter what you're paying. Anyway, comments below about rugby league, not about Twitter. I'm disappointed, but the world has to move on. Who's been your result of the weekend? I think big scores, you have to say North Queensland Cowboys, as that was a fully professional performance against a side that's a little bit flummoxed at the moment in the West Tigers. But in the Super League, can't look past Lee Leopards. They put on a show on Friday nights and did so well. Anyway, tell me in the comment section below. I'll end the episode as I always do by hoping that you share this video worldwide, and by wishing you all the very best. So please stay safe, and I'll see you in the next episode.